Today, we're answering a major question for Canadian and Mexican professionals working in the United States. Can a TN visa holder apply for a green card? The short answer is yes, but the process is much more complex than for other visas like H-1B or L-1. That's because the TN visa is a strictly non-immigrant category. Under the USMCA agreement, TN workers must show they have no intention of permanently immigrating to the U.S. at the time they enter or renew their status. So how does a TN professional become a permanent resident without violating this requirement? Let's break it down clearly and simply. First, it's important to understand the core limitation. TN status does not allow dual intent. This means you cannot simultaneously hold TN status and show immigrant intent. Filing for a green card introduces immigrant intent. Entering the U.S. on TN after filing certain green card forms can cause serious problems at the border. But none of this means TN workers are blocked from permanent residency. It only means the process must be structured carefully. Let's look at the safest path first: marriage to a U.S. citizen. Marriage-based green cards are one of the most common and cleanest options for TN holders. Immediate relatives of U.S. citizens are exempt from immigrant intent requirements, which means you can often adjust status inside the U.S., even if you originally entered on TN. You must still show that your TN entry was made in good faith, but this pathway avoids the non-immigrant intent problem altogether. Next, let's talk about employment-based green cards, such as EB-2 and EB-3. TN workers can absolutely pursue these categories, but the safest strategy is through consular processing, not adjustment of status. Here's why. Adjustment of status requires you to already be showing immigrant intent inside the U.S., which conflicts with what TN requires. Consular processing avoids this issue because the final green card interview takes place outside the United States, and you re-enter as a permanent resident. This allows you to continue working on TN status throughout most of the green card process. Another safe option is to change into a dual intent visa first, usually H-1B or O-1, and then file for a green card from that status. The H-1B visa allows both non-immigrant and immigrant intent, so filing an I-140 or an I-485 does not put your status at risk. Travel is safer, renewals are smoother, and there is no contradiction when entering the U.S. with immigrant intent. Similarly, the O-1 visa, for individuals with extraordinary ability, is also dual intent friendly, and pairs well with fast-track green card categories like EB-1A and EB-2 NIW. Now let's talk about one of the biggest mistakes TN holders make: filing the I-485 adjustment of status while still in TN status. Aside from marriage-based cases, this is extremely risky. TN does not permit immigrant intent, and I-485 shows clear intent to immigrate. Filing it too early or without switching status can trigger denials, loss of TN eligibility, and problems re-entering the U.S. This is why choosing the right strategy matters. So what are the actual green card options available for TN professionals? There are four main ones. First, marriage to a U.S. citizen, the safest and most flexible path. Second, employment-based green cards through consular processing, such as EB-2, EB-3, or EB-2 NIW. Third, switching to H-1B or O-1 first, and then applying for a green card. And fourth, adjustment of status inside the U.S., which is the riskiest option and only advisable in very specific situations, mainly marriage-based cases. A lot of TN workers also misunderstand how immigrant intent applies at the border. Even filing an I-140 immigrant petition doesn't automatically violate TN rules, but it can raise questions if you try to enter the U.S. soon after filing. Timing is essential, and the strategy should be customized around travel plans, renewals, and family needs. So, can TN visa holders apply for a green card? Yes, but only with the right timing and the right pathway. The TN visa can lead to permanent residency safely through marriage, consular processing, or transitioning into a dual-intent visa, like H-1B or O-1. What really matters is structuring the process so that you never contradict the non-immigrant intent required for TN status. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs clarity on the TN visa. And let me know in the comments, which green card pathway would you like us to break down next?